Okay. Next is a word from our sponsor, Jennifer Lyons from South Fulton Arts. She won't be speaking, but we do have a video that we'll be showing here.
Anyone who supports the art or artists, those are my people. That's my tribe.
In 2023, South Fulton Institute supported our Black Music Month program, which was an interactive, immersive experience going through 5 decades of hip-hop art, culture, fashion, memorabilia, and history. And South Fulton was a partner with us on that, which serviced 1,500 Metro Atlanta residents. It was an amazing event, and it was really crucial as we had to raise all the money to do it, obviously. To get that support from South Fulton was really, really helpful.
I very happily directed Anna Ziegler's Actually, a two-hander play for South Fulton Institute earlier this year in 2023, and I loved every bit of it. So there's a play reading series where directors are hired, professional actors are cast, over 4 to 5, I think, performances across South Fulton. Audiences get to just really engage with the story.
The beauty of a play reading is an opportunity to really dig into the text, and there's always a talk back involved. And South Fulton Institute deals with works that allow us to grapple with the issues that we're struggling with in our culture.
I have facilitated group conversations. It's so invigorating to see how other people are invested in the conversation. And it's refreshing to know, even stepping outside of the community that I'm working in, that people are wanting to have these conversations but don't necessarily know where to start or how.
The South Fulton Institute has had an incredible impact in my own journey as an artist. This year I collaborated with videographer Christian Milam in the Filmer Project, and it was incredible to have a chance to tell my own personal story as an artist and kind of dive into the world of wellness and justice and that intersection.
When I retired as an educator, I started a company called Lambert Smith Media, and an aspect of that is the Everyday Actor, our education, consulting, and coaching portion. Support from institutions like the South Fulton Institute make me breathe just a little better at night.
The South Fulton Institute has provided a partnership where I am able to bring literary programming to the community. The value is incredible. It allows me to bring in people and actually pay them. I believe in paying artists what they are worth.
South Fulton Institute has supported us in some of the public art programs that we've been doing over the years, which is super important as arts organizations nationwide are always experiencing, budget cuts. And so our relationship with South Fulton Institute has really been instrumental in us being able to continue our programming.
In addition, we worked with SFI in partnership through Challenge the Stats in presenting an incredible artist, Jessie Diaz. We were able to bring her to the South Fulton area.
We live in a world where so much of the arts are being vilified or just flat out taken away.
Having a space where art meets the professional, art meets the social media, art meets everyone where they are, it's a true vehicle to talk about these things.
The more informed we can be as citizens and the more stories we can hear about other people and other lives, the more we'll be able to participate.
It's really important for the community to have free and open access to art and culture because it is what creates community amongst us. So it's really part of how we know ourselves, how we show the world who we are, how we express our creativity and our individuality, but how we also find common ground. So it builds community. And so it's really important for us. Without the arts and culture, we don't have community.
Thank you, South Fulton Arts. Next, we're going to hear from a success story from Sarah Dilla from Center for Puppetry Arts. I don't see her. Is that you coming? Okay, there you are.
Clicker. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah. I'm here at the center This is my work home, and first I want to thank you all for coming here to join us at the center today, and thank Patrick and Waduda for choosing us as a location. It's really special for us to be a convener, and we're excited about that role and all the great ideas that have been discussed today. So first I want to give you a little bit of background into the place where you are. I hope most of you have been here, but it's fun to hear, and then we'll dive into some success things. There it is, all right. So the center has been here since 1978. Our founder is a man named Vince Anthony, who still comes in every Tuesday. He's a professional puppeteer, and in the 70s he had a real dream to create a hub for his art form and a place that all of the folks of his field who often practice traveling around from festivals could really have a central locus to share their art form and build community around it. And that's what formed the center. We've been here in this building for most of that time. We're proud to call an old Atlanta public school, the Spring Street Elementary School, our home. And we've been growing our programs in there since. There's a fun picture up there on the left. Oops. Did I do that? Who knows? Vince Anthony and Jim Henson, an example of just how small the puppetry community is. Like any professional network, when you're in it, you know all the other people in it. So that's the same with puppetry. They're there for the 10th anniversary of the center. So it's really, when he created this hub, they defined 3 program areas: performances, education, and museum. And it's those 3 that have sustained today that allow us to kind of keep the breadth of puppetry alive through those various arenas. But it's also that breadth of programming that, like puppetry itself, it makes our organization hard to fit into any one category. We are performing arts, and we're museum, and we're educational. We do all of these things. So really the success story that I want to share today is the center as a whole, and where we've come from and where we're going, and how we faced and evolved programming in the years since COVID, and all the challenges that we've all faced as arts administrators and artists in the funding landscape and the world since the COVID shutdown. So those 3 pillars that I mentioned for our programming, they sustain and evolve who we are today at the center. On any given day, let's see, I think I put these all in wacky order. This is what happens when you give me the reins of a PowerPoint. Am I clicking or? Let's do that one. That sounds like a good one. All right, so on any given day at the center today, you can see performances, exhibitions. Every year we do over 400 performances. We both develop our own fully staged puppet theater performances, and we're a home for guest artists where we bring into the center. We do exhibitions in our museum. We have 2 permanent galleries and rotating exhibition galleries to spotlight artists. We have field trips, workshops, master classes, lectures, screenings, and a host of outreach programs. So that's where this breadth comes in today. And what I find so special about the center is how unique it is. And we're the largest nonprofit in the nation dedicated to puppetry, and we uniquely fill that role with all these different avenues of puppetry. And I really think that within unique and empowering settings that creativity is able to thrive. And that is what our funders, like so many of the longstanding funders that are here today, like our state and local advocates and funders and foundations have helped create at the center over the last 45 years, is a really creative and empowering setting where we can support artists, where we can educate, and where we can infuse arts in a creative landscape in Atlanta. So, I think it's going all over the place. It was on the screen before. Has 3 columns. Oh, that one. Let's go to that one. Okay. So really having long-standing support, what we see from the center's success story is the ability to track some generational change and generational success. Any day that I come stand and watch people come into performances at the center, you can regularly hear that intergenerational conversation of a parent talking to a student or talking to their child and sharing a memory that they came to the center when they were young. So we see ourselves, over the decades, the center has become really this key element in arts and cultural education in the city. And we see that from parent to child, from teacher to student, and it's something that's really important. We can also see generationally our role has grown in the pipeline of our field and our art form, and what we call our alumni, folks that have been on our stage or behind our sets over time, continue on into the field and go on to be on the stages for Sesame Street or with Disney or all of these other players across the city in film and television and nationally. And we also see our in-house programming expanding and evolving as we learn where puppetry holds great impact. So over on the left, you can see our Puppetry for All programming, where we've expanded into work with neurodiversity, hosting sensory-friendly days, and also establishing now audio-described performances. Here's some things that we believe. I think that's our specialty. Now, oh, here we go. I think we're in order from here on. Sorry, Patrick. So as a recipient of so many funding, the GCA Partner Grant has been critical to this as we've bridged the COVID time period and increased state and government support. You all know we've been talking about in here as a state that's regularly at the bottom of those lists for arts funding, we have so much to improve, and how we do that is through our stories, the stories you've all been sharing on the stage. So I wanted to share some about our programming and in the past couple of years how it's evolving as made possible by supporters like so many of you. So here is a little bit about all of our performances. A big strategic initiative for us is authentic storytelling. When you come to see something on the stages at the center, you will see stories from across different backgrounds that tell different narratives that are delivered by authentic artists to where those stories come from. And so we hope that everyone can kind of find and learn something new when they come to see something on stage at the center. We have bilingual shows. We have, as I mentioned, audio described shows. And it's really a full inclusive performance season where there are over 400 performances a year and all kinds of opportunities. Up there you can see at the top corner, Puppetry Now has been a new initiative that we've started since for 3 years now, so right since after the height of COVID. And it's been an intentional initiative across the center to bring in contemporary voices and artists of color to our stages and our galleries, tying together our offerings in performance and in curation, and really spotlighting that puppetry is a contemporary art. Oftentimes folks think it's just for children, it's just Muppets, but there are ways to communicate through puppetry for folks of all ages and backgrounds. This one, our youth initiatives. The center, since COVID, we've been really excited this past season that ended in June 2023. We were able to hit our numbers for to match our numbers from before the shutdown. So of course field trips and audience attendance that we've all struggled with, especially in performing arts. By June we were able to say that past year we had reached our numbers of bringing over 70,000 children back through doors for field trips. 14,000 of which are from Title I schools. The center has a long-standing commitment to subsidizing field trips and arts experiences, and that's really where we see that generational story of success, of how folks remember and identify with maybe their first experience with the arts being somewhere as accessible as the center. Our embedded education is something that GCA's Arts Education Grant has really helped us be able to launch and sustain over 5 years now, where our education team goes into Burgess Peterson Academy, and throughout the entire school year they're able to work with them on a long creative project. They start with a show that's going to be on our stages in the spring, and they give kids access to think through the steps of a creative project. So they're involved in everything from the storyboarding to the character design to set design. And it's that great long experience of working on something creative that we're able to do with young folks. Oh, Mike. Hey, this is why you shouldn't come to the center to see me on stage. You should come when there are puppeteers on stage. And then lastly, our artistic performances. We are so excited to be able to bring guest artists from around the country and around the world. This spring, we're bringing a group from Taiwan, and think differently about our creative partnerships and get outside in the community. There's a photo of in the fall when we were able to participate with the Walk with a Mall performances, and there again just some engagement with our Puppetry Now artists and new contemporary artists. So I explain all of this because it's just examples of the way we've been able to evolve over the years, and that's only because of funding. So we all operate in this industry where we can't yet sustain ourselves with our earned income alone. And that's the arts. We just heard how we put all of this out into the world for economic benefit, and our industry is so powerful, and it is very impactful that we have such longstanding funders who are able to commit operating support to enable our artists to experiment and our arts administrators to grow their programming. So thank you all who are sitting in those seats, those funding seats. It's so important. And I invite you to come to the center soon to see something on stage. We have Ruth and the Green Book on stage now in our family series. It's a great one for student engagement, and soon we'll have an adult show called Pack Rat. Come back. Thank you.